Your membership number is?
812.
The patrolman's on his way, madam.
You wouldn't think these two ads had much to do with vehicle breakdown, would you? But they're two of the most iconic British advertising campaigns for the two biggest names. This is the story of how the AA and RAC became the breakdown giants and the vehicles that got them there. Our story begins in 1905, when a motorist called Walter Gibbons wrote to Autocar magazine suggesting an association be started to protect motorists from speed traps.
A sort of Edwardian man from Uncle. By turning his badge round, the first AA man is warning motorists there's a police speed trap round the bend.
Yep, that's right. The Automobile Association, or AA, began its life warning drivers of the police. Originally operating at weekends, a team of 8 cyclists formed the earliest patrols, carrying a red flag to warn of danger ahead. With months and in fact just a few years, this service grew, and by 1912 there were over 950 AA cyclist scouts as they became known. In the decade after that, there were over 250 motorbike-based scouts. It's safe to say the AA's early days were vastly different from the purpose they serve today. The debate as to who's the best breakdown service has gone on for just as long, but whilst the AA may be perceived today as the more prominent name, the RAC was leaps and bounds ahead of it back in 1912. Founded in 1897 as the Automobile Club, it wasn't until 1907 that the R was added to the name when it received the royal approval from King Edward VII. By the time the AA were gathering cyclists for their first patrols, the RAC already had a network of roadside phone boxes in place to report your breakdown. These are probably a little-known piece of roadside furniture to most younger viewers, but once upon a time, there were over 1,500 of these sentry boxes scattered across the UK. Their aim was simple: to provide a convenient way to contact your preferred breakdown company and ask for help. That was, if you didn't already flag down a passing patrol who could identify your membership and loyalty by a series of grill badges issued over the years. There's only a handful of these boxes left in existence, mainly in museums, and you may be thinking, what was to stop anyone using them? Well, members were issued a key to unlock the box to be able to call, a far cry from entering your reg number on an app nowadays. In the aftermath of World War II, Britain saw a surge in car ownership as manufacturing shifted from wartime production back to civilian needs.
On open spaces, on disused airfields, thousands of brand new vehicles are lined up with nowhere to go. Competition on the world market and the credit squeeze at home have hit the industry hard.
The vehicles of this era were relatively simple, but they were also prone to breakdowns. The AA and RAC, both established earlier in the century, had to scale up their services rapidly. Initially, the patrolmen of both organisations used motorcycles with sidecars to carry tools and spare parts. These were the workhorses of the post-war years, agile enough to navigate the growing road networks. However, as cars became more reliable and complex, the need for more sophisticated recovery vehicles became apparent. It was around this time that we started to see vans and small trucks deployed to breakdowns, often equipped with the latest tools and tech, a somewhat positive outcome from the development of wartime vehicles, leading to the introduction of vehicle winches and specialist trucks. Innovation continued to flourish in the preceding years, not just for these two, but in the worldwide automotive industry too, though Britain itself had a fair few of its own cars being manufactured at this time too. By the swinging 60s, the AA and RAC moved towards using vans as their primary breakdown vehicles. These vans were now mobile workshops, equipped with tools, jacks, and spare parts. For the first time, patrolmen could handle a wider range of roadside repairs, from battery replacements to more complex mechanical issues and recovery where needed. One notable innovation during this time was the wide-scale introduction of branded vehicles. The RAC actually started with blue and white before switching to the bright orange we see now. The AA followed suit, throwing yellow paint at their fleet, resulting in both brands having some iconic vehicles feature on Britain's roads. These vans had better storage and protection from the elements, resulting in a reliable breakdown service in all weathers. The 1980s and 1990s brought a new wave of challenges as car technology advanced rapidly. Electronic fuel injection systems, onboard computers, and more sophisticated engines became the norm. The AA and RAC patrols had to evolve yet again, this time incorporating new diagnostic tools into their vans to identify and solve issues that couldn't be fixed with just a spanner and screwdriver. However, this era wasn't without its troubles. The increased complexity of vehicles meant that not all repairs could be done roadside. Patrolmen often found themselves having to tow vehicles to garages more frequently, which required investment in more powerful recovery trucks. Additionally, the sheer range of car models on the road made it difficult to carry all necessary parts, leading to more call and wait situations where patrols had to request specific components from depots. During this time, both firms utilized the Ford Transit as reliable workhorses, with the widespread introduction of spec lifts to combine breakdown and recovery capability into one vehicle. They're not so much used nowadays, but the trucks had lockers for basic breakdown kit and equipment and a heavy-duty, spectacle-shaped frame on the back to quickly lift and tow vehicles, be it to your home or garage. This was also one of the first instances of additional seats in the vehicle to safely transport the customer and their passengers as part of the AA's relay service. This type of vehicle was still used by both services up until the early 2000s, but with the increasing number of four-wheel drive vehicles and heavier vans, they're not the one-stop solution they once were, and you'll more likely see a wheels-up approach used now, meaning the breakdown van can tow the front wheels of a stricken vehicle. The 21st century brought about the digital revolution, impacting every aspect of our lives, but notably in car technology. The rise of hybrid and electric vehicles, EVs, posed a new set of challenges. Both the AA and RAC had to train their patrols to safely handle high-voltage systems and navigate the complexities of EV diagnostics. To adapt, the AA introduced electric vehicle charging units in their patrol vans, allowing them to give a boost charge to stranded EVs. Similarly, the RAC developed the EV boost system, capable of providing an emergency charge. It's up for debate as to whether or not this is a logical or long-term solution, but it's just one of the additional specialist vehicles both firms now employ. The return of 4x4s for highland and tricky weather conditions, as well as an increasing number of digital advancements. You can now track your recovery driver on an app, quite a change from standing in a sentry box waiting for a bicycle. This is of course all part of the digital age, where we expect to be able to do anything on our phones and to have that live real-time tracking. It's certainly a great innovation, but with around 1 million more vehicles on our roads every year, how much longer before more innovation is needed? While the technology has moved on, the role of a breakdown recovery patrol remains inherently dangerous. Recovery operatives are put at risk from passing traffic, which can be particularly intense on busy motorways. In these situations, the danger of injury or worse is always present. This is a clip from 1999 where police respond to a lorry colliding with a breakdown worker. Sadly, the RAC patrolman lost their life at the scene.
All officers dread. A truck has veered onto the hard shoulder, hitting an RAC patrolman. He's suffered massive injuries. Officers desperately tried to save his life. Despite all their efforts, the patrolman was pronounced dead on arrival at hospital.
It continues to be a dangerous job, but campaigns such as Slow Down, Move Over try to encourage motorists to change lanes when passing a scene of a breakdown. Both the AA and RAC have had some memorable advertising campaigns over the years. Often, the AA's campaigns highlight their wide reach and focus on their self-labelling as the UK's fourth emergency service. But here's one of their older fun adverts from 1986. Have a watch.
Well, it's been cold and damp recently, which means there will be continued in Scotland and in the north, some in the Midlands, and a great deal more than usual in the south. Of course, with the AA covering the whole country, things should quite quickly become a lot brighter.
On the other hand, the RAC doesn't use comedian duos and instead focuses on their speed in responding to breakdowns, with campaigns such as New Knights of the Road showcasing their motorbike response. Here's a clip of that ad. Today, though, the ads are more focused on which can be the cheapest service or a competition of who can have more patrol vehicles. The AA currently has twice as many vans, but it suggests the RAC have more recovery vehicles. Either way, they both deal with over 6 million call-outs between them every year, quite a shift from their respective origins. Both organisations boast impressive membership figures. The AA has over 15 million members, making it the largest breakdown service in the UK. The RAC isn't far behind, with around 12 million. These numbers are a testament to the trust and reliability that both organisations have built over more than a century. So there you have it. From humble beginnings on bicycles to the advanced recovery vehicles of today, both organisations have come a long way. Their commitment to helping motorists remains as strong as ever, and their efforts to improve safety and efficiency continue to evolve. Thanks for joining us on this ride. Until next time, stay safe and happy driving. If you'd enjoyed this film, please comment your story below, like the video and subscribe if you'd like to see more of our original automotive documentaries.